Hey everybody, welcome to another 10-minute Marvel video. And, well, turns out I was right. Rio, spoilers ahead for Agatha All Along, episode 7, and going forward, really for the whole show, if you're not caught up, don't watch this video. Just go watch the show. It's great. Catch up, come back here, check out the theory videos I put out before. But now we're into spoiler territory. Okay, you've left? Have you? Alright. If you've left, shouldn't be hearing this. But Rio confirmed as Death, the original Green Witch, they say. And I want to dig into this and lay out kind of, like I said, I picked up on some clues early on that I thought she was Death. I thought there were things early on that helped me know that, and then really confirmed in episode 4 when they summon her to the road, and she appears from where they buried Sharon Davis. Davis. So I was already down that pathway, but now we have the confirmation. We've had Lilia call it out that Rio is Death. So a couple things I want to talk about here. First off is, why do they refer to her as the original Green Witch? I think some of this ties into the idea of the Green Man in mythology. Basically, this being of death and kind of life. And I think Rio is in some ways the same way. Because you think about the natural order of things. Death occurs, the body decays. Whatever it is decays, it returns to the ground and provides nutrients, and then life comes forth from that. Plants grow, get the nutrients they need from death. And I think that's the idea of Rio being the original Green Witch. And why she makes that statement is because, well, she is death. She is what brings in these bodies. And who knows, maybe uses them in some way, TBD. But I think that she is the original Green Witch because of that. But then the other question is, what do we expect from her going forward? Obviously, she's laid out kind of as this final obstacle that needs to be overcome. And the question is, why/how is she the final obstacle? She just has gotten, now, after episode 7, a number of new bodies. She's gotten the Salem 7, as well as Lilia Calderou's body. So she has gotten quite the collection of bodies along the road. So, how is she going to play out? And I think this could go a couple of different ways. Because we have to think back, too, about who this show is about. And Agatha. And whether or not Agatha is truly the main villain of the show. You think about WandaVision. Wanda is truly the main villain of the show. She has to go up against Agatha at one point in time. At the end of the show, kind of that final face-off. You have that face-off, but Wanda is the villain. Is Agatha going to be the true villain? Is Death truly a villain here? Because I'm not convinced that Death is truly going to be the villain. I think that it's going to be revealed kind of the relationship between Rio and Agatha and how they came to be, kind of what that event was that occurred that made Agatha hate Rio, and truly whether or not Agatha remembers it. But I do think there's going to be an element, and I'm going to get into this in a future video more so about how I kind of expect the series to end. I think there's going to be an element and a point in time where Rio is trying to convince Agatha and possibly goad Billy into the point where Agatha can steal Billy's powers, killing him. Or Agatha just kills him because Rio wants that body, that weird body that has housed two different Williams, two different Billies at this point. And that's going to have to be a choice that Agatha makes, because Agatha is going to be tempted by it to gain more power. I think that's kind of the play. I think there's going to be a parallel that I'll get into, like I said, in that other video. And if you made it this far in the video, hopefully you have, I just want to talk to a little bit about the spoiler. The spoiler for this came out from Funko. Now, Funko, I believe it was week 4 of the show, had some promotional images get out. They leaked 2 different things. One Wiccan and one Death. Now, I had my theory on Death prior to the Funko release. I had my video on Death prior to the Funko release. Or, like, spoiling it for myself. But it's a really unfortunate thing. And this is one of those things that you have to be aware of. And I just kind of want to talk about it here because it is around Rio, it is around Wiccan, but it's the idea that you don't need to, or be very wary of toy promotional images. Whether or not it's Funko or it's Lego. Also, Lego's been bad at this too. Just be wary of them because they do tend to spoil stuff. They have to get their promotional stuff out there so people are going to buy their stuff when the time comes. But oftentimes that's slightly ahead, slightly faster than makes sense for the show or for a movie, stuff like that. So if you're seeing like, oh, something's coming out for Lego or from Funko or anything for a show or movie that isn't fully out yet, just be really aware of that before you start to look at it. But let me know your thoughts on the reveal of Rio as Death, that confirmation. How do you think it's going to play out? Is there something bigger that they're going to do with this? How will Rio show up again? Obviously, Death, this idea of her being a green witch, potentially it's not the same Death that we see in Marvel Comics, where it's kind of this cosmic entity, but at the same time, they're setting it up as Death. So, could there be more? Are we going to see Rio show up more in future things? Let me know that down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this content, please give the video a thumbs up. Check out the other videos that I'm putting out on Agatha all along, but also the other videos here on 10 Minute Marvel, where we're trying to cover news and rumors to some extent, but also then Marvel trading cards and Marvel comics as well. If you enjoy this content and want to kind of get more in-depth conversation on Agatha all along, as well as that news and rumors, you can check out the 10 Minute Marvel podcast. It comes out around every Tuesday morning, early morning, And you can check it out wherever you get your Friendly Neighborhood podcast from, or here on YouTube. Click on the channel, subscribe if you don't mind, and then the podcast tab. But with that, we'll see you next time.